tink, tink, tink. Can I have a tip, please?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yes, no, I agree with that. But do you believe in tipping people? I believe in tipping people when it's a restaurant and they're serving and stuff like that. But I feel that should it be mandatory? Welcome to Twin Talks. I'm Nadia.
And I'm Nikki.
And today's episode is, do we tip? Should we tip? What is our episode?
Our episode is, should tipping be mandatory?
Should tipping be mandatory? That's our episode today. Nikki, what do you think?
I think, I think maybe to a certain level it should be mandatory for service. For service.
Whatever.
Okay, so 15% is all right when you go to a restaurant and there's a hostess and a waitress or a waiter and they come and they serve you. Okay. Not when I walk up to the cashier and tip for what? Yeah. This is your job, right? Go to a clothing store and tip because you typed it in. You're already getting paid for that.
Okay.
Right? Do I have to tip at McDonald's now?
Yeah, you do.
Why?
Because they're saying
that's your job to get the food. It's a fast food restaurant.
But if
waiting is waiting tables. Like, sorry, I'm getting annoyed, but it's just when, if I walk in and I sit down at a restaurant and somebody goes, hi, can I give you, seat you? And then they bring me something and may I get you some this? May I get you some that? Like there's some interaction. There's some service attached to it, yes. Right?
Yes.
That's implied and that's where I should tip, and I should tip generously because it's not just their job, because if they just did the job then they could be crusty and really rude to me, right? But they're actually trying to make it an experience. So I don't understand why I'm walking into a theater,
right,
and I want some popcorn,
and it's already $100,
and it's already like friggin' $10
just to get a popcorn. I haven't gone to a movie in a long time. I go and I ask for a small popcorn and a drink, and it's like, it's how much? And then they want to tip on top of it, and I'm going, okay. I just said I'm just going to ignore.
So we agreed.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that if you're going to tip, it's because you're providing a service.
Okay.
And remember the context of tipping, right? Like, and I have to make sure, I could have it wrong, but I think the point of tipping was way back of days of slavery when they just abolished it.
Yeah.
They still wanted to pay people, black people, and any marginalized group, right?
Yes.
They didn't want to pay the fair amount.
Yes.
So they've undercut you, and then you bust your behind, then you get tips. That's the whole origin of it.
Yeah. That's what I'm throwing out there.
No.
Should it be mandatory that you're paying 15 or 18%? Or do you think you should just pay what you feel they deserve?
Wow.
Because there are people that won't pay a fair
exactly.
amount.
I understand why people are this is the lowest, because there are some friggin' cheap people who don't do right by them, and remember, these people need to live.
But I agree with you, but I just want to throw it out there. Are they cheap, or are they paying for the service? And what if the service is terrible? I believe in tipping. I'm just asking the question.
If the service is terrible, then I think you have a right to leave a less, like a not a very good tip. You have to earn it. That's the point of a tip. However, there are people, they are, that are just the service is wonderful, and they're still gonna go, like, you know, $2 when it was like $100 meal or something.
Yeah.
Like, you know how some people are. So like, I gotta side with, even though I understand the backlash, but I do think 20% is a lot.
Yeah. So
Like,
do you think it's fair?
but
15 or 10? 10 or 15%?
15 minimum.
Okay.
But once you start doing the 20 and 25, like, that's getting ridiculous for people.
Yeah, I think so.
But minimum 15. I think if you go 15%, people will still be able to eat and not be insulted.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
So you just don't agree with the tipping when you're at a coffee shop or you're going to a movie and they're asking.
The mandatory,
Okay.
right? That's what I don't agree, because, wait a minute, you're not giving any service. That's all. So it's like, if I feel like tipping you, so let's say I go to a place that's making, let's say, a drink,
Yeah.
and I feel like that, I'll put that in. Okay, but when I'm going to the cashier and you're literally pouring me a tea, that happened the other day, and I'm like, it's 20%.
Yeah, that's outrageous. And you know, some of these coffee shops, it's like $5 for a drink.
It was, and I was like, are you kidding me right now? Yeah, I was that person. What? In my head, I didn't want to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
Like, really? You're asking me like
Are you being
20%
a
off
cheap-
the $6?
Are you a cheap?
I was that day. I was like, as if I'm getting boiled water and a tea bag and it's costing me like $6 or whatever. Sorry. I wouldn't regard myself as cheap, but then there's a limit to how much, you know, I shouldn't be paying $6 for boiled water in a bag.
And some milk.
Anyway.
All right. So I guess we agree. I'd love to know what you guys think. Should tipping be mandatory, or should you have the right to say, this is how much they deserve?
Guess you
Love to hear the comments. So if you like this, what do we do?
like us on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok,
Instagram.
and Instagram. Always miss one.
You're getting better.
I know. See you next time on Twin Talks.